Nearly 1 in 4 expats have reported disputes with their landlord in Mexico. And the number one insane thing that the landlords have done is why I am making this video. It happened to me and it can happen to you. I'll show you how to guard yourself and your wallet against sneaky landlords in Mexico. Let's get started. This video is all about my moves to Mexico. I have compiled a bunch of information for you in the Smart Woman Guide. Below this video, go click and get your Smart Woman Guide. This is the guide that will help you not only move to Mexico with your sanity, but also keep your sanity while you're here. Share with you 5 things that you need to know before you move so that you don't have to worry about a thing. That I known all of these things, my life would have been a heck of a lot simpler. And this can happen to you. Sneaky landlords do sneaky things. So let me show you how you can protect yourself. Number 1, this is the most important thing to do when you move into your apartment. I moved into an apartment in San Jose del Cabo, and the landlord had an old refrigerator. It needed to be defrosted. I decided on my own that I would defrost it, and it was light enough that I could move it outside. When I did that, it basically imploded because it was so old and so deteriorated. It just basically imploded. Who was responsible? I was. Even though the fridge didn't work, and I told her that, I still had to replace the fridge. It cost me almost $500 US. Appliances in Mexico are very expensive. Whatever you do, if you can bring your appliances down with you, do it. If you can't. Now, I'm not saying pack your fridge, but what I am saying to you is what you can bring, make sure that you do bring it because you're going to miss it when you get here. When I moved into this apartment that I'm in now, I decided I would go through everything so that I wouldn't be taken advantage of by the sneaky landlord. They are pretty sneaky too, and they will get you on certain things. And this is scary because you're giving a lot of money to people you don't have a legal backup. You have to go to their government, and it takes many weeks, if not months, sometimes years to get your money back. So you really want to make sure that what you're doing and who you're dealing with are the people that are going to respect you and also respect the fact that they have gone into contract with you and they're going to keep their end of the bargain. So the shady practices that most of these landlords are doing are with security deposit theft and holding that security deposit with broken and non-functional appliances that don't work. And when you go to use them, all of a sudden they break, and now you're the one in charge for replacing that broken unit. Hidden fees and verbal lies. These are like, okay, I said this, but it's not in the lease, but you do have to pay it, or else I'll turn it off, such as electricity or water or gas. These are really important things to have. Vague lease terms. These are some of the things that you want to make sure that your lease covers. And I'm going to show you in the Smart Woman Guide how to go over your lease. Post move-in price hikes, important to look for. And this is pressuring you to pay more upon your move-in. Certain things like paying for cleaning of your air conditioning unit or paying for cleaning of or moving the appliances around, or maybe you wanted furniture taken out. They're going to charge you for taking that furniture out. So there's things that you want written in that lease so that you are not responsible for them and they are, and everybody's signed the lease. One thing that made sense to me upon doing this with my lease, and that is signing every single page of the lease with my initial, so that once I signed that lease and every page was initialed, I knew that when I got a copy of that lease back, if my page was not initialed, I knew for a fact that it wasn't the page that was in the original lease. I've learned this over time, and it took me a little while, but this is a really important fact. When you start reading that lease and then you sign it, always sign every single page with your initials so that you know the lease that you signed is the lease that they're giving back to you, signed by the landlord. And if the landlord signs it before you do, then great. You're still going to sign every single page with your initials so that they don't take one page and arbitrarily, oh, that page was replaced with this page, but this is the page that you signed. I've learned this over the time frame that I've been living here, and it's been a little bit difficult, and I have made some big mistakes. So I want you to not make those big mistakes. I have a checklist in the Smart Woman Guide. Make sure you watch to the end of this video though, because I have some more things that will blow your mind about renting in Mexico. We've gone over the 5 things that the landlord practices, these kind of shady practices that some of these landlords do, and how to cover yourself with the lease. But I'm going to share something else with you that's pretty important. And that is that you go through every single room and you videotape what was there and the extent of what damage has been already done to it, if there was any. So you want to document all damaged furniture, all dents, all dings, anything that doesn't work, if the television doesn't turn on, if the remote doesn't work, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you go through everything and make a video of it so that they can see this doesn't work. And that video needs to be date and time stamped the day that you moved in. Make sure that you're recording appliances, if the washer dryer works, if the refrigerator works, if the gas and the stove work, is the water pressure right? Do you have hot water? Things like that. So you'll want to make sure you spend the time moving in before you unpack to go through all that. That is pretty significant and it is a hassle, but it's something that will help you in the long run. Another thing to check is and ask in your lease is if they clean the AC. Did they clean the AC out before you moved in? And are they going to continually clean the AC? So after the summer, will they clean the AC? And are they paying for that? And is that included in your lease? That's another thing that you want to make sure you look for. And look for like leaks. There's a lot of leaks because the places that you're moving to near the beach get a lot of storms. So you might want to check for those leaks in the walls and make sure you take pictures like this wall had a leak in it. The next thing you want to do, number 3, is clear the rent amount and the deposit terms and who gets the deposit. One of the things I didn't do, which I'm really remiss about, is I didn't have them put the banking information and the person who gets the security deposit and the person who gets the rent. Now I have an issue where the security deposit was sent to the real estate agent because she said that the taxes that the landlord has to pay is too much. And so you send it to her. I was given her number by a very good reference. So I'm not too concerned, but I am concerned and I did bring it up and I still have not gotten it written in writing. The security deposit is going to come back to me. So I will deal with that at the end of my lease, whereby I will say, if you're not going to give me the security deposit back and you're not going to give me the piece of paper that stipulates who the security deposit went to, then I'm not paying the last month's rent. You can keep that security deposit because they've already got the money and I've already proven that they've got the money. So they can't do anything. And that's one of the things that I didn't do this time. And I didn't do it because I was very overwhelmed. And this is one thing that you want to make sure of. You're not overwhelmed. You're not in a space that you can't really think. And I was there. I was in that space. And I trusted somebody's reference. And I don't know how that's going to turn out. I'll make a video about it and tell you though. Negotiate like a boss. Make sure that you have lower rent for longer leases, lower rent for the summer months because the summer months are really hot and most of these apartments remain dormant. Even though there are more people moving down here year round, a lot of people remain dormant still in June, July, August. So those 3 months are pretty hot here in Mexico, pretty much everywhere, especially in Loreto. So you'll want to make sure that you get a lower rent for that time. And make sure that what you want included is included. And so sit down and say, I want included is Wi-Fi. I don't want it in my name. I want 5G. This is what I want. I want this included in my rent. I want cleaning services included in my rent or whatever it is, right, that you really want. Or if they're going to not include that, then what is it going to cost? And if it's going to cost more money for me to put the internet in my name, as opposed to paying you for the internet, then are you going to lower the rent for that? These are really important things to keep in mind. Another thing, and the last thing I will tell you is that the lease comes in usually a Spanish version at the top. Like, for example, it'll start in Spanish and then the next paragraph will be in English so that you're able to see the translation. Make sure that you get a Spanish version and an English version. This is how you guard yourself and your wallet against these sneaky landlords in Mexico. I'm going to share this with you in a checklist in the Smart Woman Guide. The guide is so comprehensive. It covers everything from driving down to Mexico, the paperwork that nobody tells you about. Make sure that you're doing things in the current administration, not in the administration that somebody knew 20 years ago when they went to Mexico. You definitely want to stay current because a lot of things are changing between the USA and what were the USA's allies. And now every day something is new and something changes. So make sure you're staying on top of that. Make sure to like and subscribe to this and ring the bell. This helps me grow the channel and it's so important. I'm really trying to grow this channel, trying to get this information to people so that they're not going through the same hassles that I am. You would be so surprised at the hassles that I had moving here and what I had to do to overcome. So this guide is going to help you, especially if you're stuck in a space that you're like, oh no, I don't have this paperwork, or oh no, this is a problem and I don't know what to do. I'm going to show you exactly what to do and how to get out of this problem. Make sure to share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.